It's time for Rabbi Minkowicz's Weekly Torah Lesson, a place where life's most difficult questions are answered. Here with his spiritual perspective and insight, Rabbi Minkowicz.
Welcome to this week's Torah lesson. This week's Torah portion is Parsha VAYEITZEI. The question of the week is, where can we find strength to overcome challenges? So in this week's Torah portion, Parsha VAYEITZEI, the Torah tells us Yaakov leaves Be'ersheva, and he goes out Charana, and Charana comes from the word of Charoin Af, the wrath of the world. And he comes to the place, the special place. He lays down, and he goes to sleep. Torah tells us he sees in his sleep a dream with a ladder, and so on and so forth. But in the Medrash it says that when Yaakov goes to sleep, what was he doing when he was sleeping? And the Rebbe says, Yaakov really doesn't sleep. He was sleeping. What was he sleeping? So the Medrash says, Yaakov was saying something. The Medrash, what was he saying? So the Medrash says, Yaakov was saying, and he was reciting, the Tesvav, the 15 Psalms that start off with Shir HaMalot, a song of ascension. And that's what Yaakov was saying. So Rebbe asked a simple question. What was the purpose of saying the Shir HaMalot? And B, why those 15? So the Rebbe says an interesting phenomenon, because the power of 15 is extremely powerful. Why? Because the years that Avraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov were alive at one specific time, and it was the end of the life of Avraham, and let's say the middle of Yitzchak and the beginning of Yaakov, was 15 years. So for 15 years, the three patriarchs lived together. For those 15 powerful years that Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov lived together, which represents, Chesed, Gvura, and Tiferes, the three Sfirot, every one of those intertwined by 5, so you have 15 powerful Sfirot. So King David composed the Shir HaMalot. Now why specifically the Shir HaMalot? Because the Shir HaMalot says, Shir, a song, HaMalot, of ascension. In other words, when a person is going through life, and you're going through challenges, you need power to go through it. So King David, based on the inspiration of those 15 years that Avram, Yitzchak, Yaakov lived together, he taught us that ultimately every challenge that the patriarchs went through and that we go through, the purpose is not because we're supposed to be challenged, not because of the descent. On the contrary, the purpose is for the Hamalot, for the ascent that comes afterwards. So in other words, Rebbe explains, what was Yaakov saying? The Medrash asking, what was Yaakov saying? He was saying the Shir HaMalot. And why was he saying the Shir HaMalot? Because Yaakov was going out into the world, going to face challenges, and he was saying to himself, oh my gosh, where am I going to have the power and the strength to overcome the challenges? And he said one thing, Shir HaMalot. As long as I can focus and realize that the whole purpose of the challenge, and even though right now it's a challenge, but the purpose is for the Hamalot, for the ascent that's going to come afterwards, I'm okay and I'm strong. And as long as I can keep on saying Shir HaMalot, it's a song because we're going up, I'll be able to get through it. And the truth is, Yaakov went through it. So to answer the question, where do we find the strength to overcome challenges? Very simple. Shir HaMalot. Realize that every challenge you're going through, it's not about the challenge. It's about the ascent that's going to happen after the challenge. This week's Torah lesson is dedicated to the memory of Baruch ben Aryeh Leib and Shlomo Ben Yosef. May their souls be elevated by the Torah we're studying in their memory. Thanks so much for joining us for our weekly Torah lesson. For more information about Chabad, please visit our website.